The Slack Outage of 2022 by me. Imagine starting your workday ready to collaborate with your team only to find that your main communication tool, Slack, is completely down. No message, no updates, no way to reach your colleagues. This was the reality for millions on January 4th, 2022, when Slack suffered a major power outage that left users frustrated and businesses scrambling for alternatives. For companies that rely on Slack for real-time collaboration, the disruption was more than inconvenience. It was a full-scale operational crisis. The Slack outage was a major disruption that highlighted both strengths and weaknesses of Slack's crisis management strategy, shedding light on the critical role of communication, transparency, and technical resilience in managing service failures. It also demonstrated the growing reliance on digital communication platforms and how their failures can impact businesses worldwide. As someone studying organizational crises in corporate communication, I have thoroughly researched this case to understand how tech companies respond to service failures and manage public relations during crises. Analyzing Slack's response provides valuable lessons in PR, risk mitigation, and crises communication. So let's look at the main points that I will discuss today. 1. I will discuss what happened during the outage, including its causes and impacts. I will explain how Slack responded, focusing on its communication strategy and technical solutions. And 3. I will analyze PR critiques on their response and highlight lessons learned for their future. So let's begin by understanding what happened during the Slack outage. On January 4th, Slack experienced a major outage that lasted several hours, affecting millions of users worldwide. And that's from my source, Peters. This was not the first time Slack had faced downtime, but the scale and the timing of this outage made it particularly disruptive. Users could not send messages, access channels, or use key features like file sharing and integrations, causing significant workflow disruptions. So some causes. There was increased traffic after the holiday break, which overloaded Slack's infrastructure, and that's from my source Lomas. With so many users returning to work at the same time, Slack servers struggled to handle such a sudden spike in usage. Another cause, server connectivity issues led to network failures, and these failures impacted not just messaging, but also integration of third-party applications that many companies rely on. So let's look at some impacts. Productivity suffered as teams lost access to essential communication tools, and some businesses experienced delays in critical projects, while others struggled to coordinate remote teams effectively. Another impact, frustrated users turned to social media, increasing public pressure on Slack. Memes, complaints, and speculations about the outage flooded Twitter, further amplifying the crises. And another impact was investors and stakeholders also took notice, as prolonged outages can raise concerns about a company's reliability and future growth potential. So, how did Slack respond? They responded with acknowledgement and communication. Slack promptly updated its status page and used social media, including Twitter, to acknowledge the issue. The company understood the importance of keeping users informed during a crisis. Another way they responded was mitigation efforts. Engineers worked to reroute traffic and stabilize the platform. By prioritizing critical services, Slack was able to restore partial functionality quickly. Lastly, post-mortem analysis. Slack published a report detailing the outage causes and future prevention steps. Also, improvements in scalability and redundancy measures were implemented to prevent similar incidents. The company emphasized its commitment to learning from the outage and strengthening its infrastructure. So some PR critiques. What worked and what could have been better? What worked well? Timely communication reassured users and it quickly acknowledged the issue, and Slack prevented unnecessary speculation. Another thing that worked well: clear explanations avoided corporate jargons and maintain transparency, so users could understand what happened in like timely manner. Engineers acted efficiently to minimize downtime, and the response team prioritized restoring core functionality while continue to investigate underlying causes. Now here are some areas for improvement. Proactive scaling could have anticipated the traffic surge, given that Slack had experienced previous outages, which better forecasts the preemptive scaling, which may have prevented this disruption. Another area for improvement: stronger redundancy measures might have minimized downtime, ensuring that backup servers and failover systems are robust enough to handle peak loads, which is critical. Lastly, more direct outreach to enterprise clients. Large businesses that rely on Slack daily for operations may have benefited from direct emails or personal support during the outage. So my final takeaways and conclusions. So let's review the theses. The Slack outage of 2022 demonstrated effective crises communications, but also revealed areas for improvement in the infrastructure, management, and scalability. And now let's review some of the main points. We examined the causes of the outage, how Slack responded, and the critiques of their crises management strategy. The outage underscored the importance of proactive risk management and user-focused communication during service failures. Some concluding thoughts. This outage serves as a reminder that even the most reliable platforms must continually adapt to meeting growing demands. As businesses become more dependent on digital communication tools, companies must invest in robust infrastructure and clear crisis response strategies to maintain users' trust and reliability. Thank you all for listening. Here are my sources. Y'all have a great day.